So first what I want to do is I extend this in the no hair attribute here. Yeah, usually it's like all of these small details that you discover while you're working on it, and you have to always change it back and forth until you're happy with it, or the client is. So I will duplicate the ear ad ingest groom, and I will create a similar one for the cheeks as well, based on what we had in the ear groom. So I will just copy that over. I will keep the same structure with the active attribute, etc., and the ingestion. So I will just delete everything that follows after the hair gen, and I will reset this guide groom node and start placing my first guides, and it will take a while. There are some softwares that deal with more guide curves and some softwares that deal with less. I think Houdini is right in the middle. Guide each pixel. So sometimes you can get away with just a few guides. For these, I will go for a little bit of a denser result. And in Houdini, the good thing is that you have a lot of interpolation methods that you can use, and that will help you distribute the guides or the hair based on the guides in the shape that you want. And you have more options there than in XGen, for example. There was an attribute paint that I just deleted because it had the old strokes in it from the ears. So we don't want that. We want to get rid of that. So the hair is really only distributed where the guides are based. For this, I can see that I don't have enough guides, so the shapes are not as readable as I want them to be, especially in the tips of the cheeks. It's very arbitrary. There's almost like a stroke touch to it, which I really don't want there. I want like clean readable shapes with a pinched tip. And for this character, I decided at a later on step to just basically generate more guides from this system and then sculpt on these. In productions, we sometimes do the same, especially when we work with digital doubles. We have like a first distribution guide set, and then we scatter the first hairs based on this set, and from this we will generate our high definition guides, where we are also already sculpting clumps, etc. What you can do here, I'm trying to just work on one side and then mirror that over again. This is also an option, but yeah, I discovered that this wasn't working for me greatly. But if you have characters where you just need to fix something in the guides, that's a way to do it without deleting the whole history. It will be very difficult to disable like certain stock attributes and while keeping the rest of the history. I'm still not getting the result that I want. It's looking a bit better, but it's not there. Especially behind the ears. It's either the region that is a bit misplaced or the hair that has been scattered. So I will try to cut off these edges there to see if I'm getting a better result. If you just use the cut setting in the brush and go over the whole primitive, you will delete the primitive as well, which is a super nice trick. The first thing what I do is I always use the active area length node that basically feathers out all the shorter hair based on the region. And it looks too wavy at this stage. So I will try to see. You can either clamp if you want the dark tones to be darker, or you can just multiply it by itself. At this stage, I'm not too happy with the longer hair around the eyes. I want them to be shorter. This gives me a slightly shorter result, but still not there. I like this shape and how it looks like from above. So I will test this with some clumps and see if I can increase that in the clump settings or if I have to scatter more guides in general. So I will see with what I can get away here. For clumps, it's always useful to use a guide mask with them, so not the whole primitive is clumped, but rather just the tip, so you can keep the root position in touch without the clump influence on them. And I used a geometry mask. It's currently set to primitive. You want that as a point. With the curve mask. And I will check a few settings. I'm not too happy with the flower directionality. I want more pinchiness on the tip of the cheek. This almost gives like a feathery result that I really like as a base. From here, I will pursue the trick I told you about where we're generating like mid-level guides. another hair generate from there. But yeah, I will use the guide groom in order to sculpt on them. I will activate the symmetry settings in the mirroring section. And then I will sculpt them a little bit more. To also assign the skin attribute lookup, but the guides are still having that attribute from the early on process that we did. And you can see they are also having clump IDs stored, which can make the clump look different. So I will delete all of the attributes that we have currently on there, reassign my rest position, and no, it will complain about this guide skin attribute lookup because we also deleted the attributes that were stored there. So I will reassign them. And then I will try to increase the radius and see if that shape works better. And as you can see, this works a lot better. It's not there yet. It will need more guide work at this stage, but it looks definitely closer. At this stage from sculpting over and over again. So you get rid of that by just dropping a smooth node. Let's see how that looks like. This should be the updated version. I think that works a lot better than what we had previously. From here, I will drop the same hierarchy, like the length node that is set to the active area. And I will try to also come up with nice looking clumps as a next step. Tweak more of the profile. It's always very helpful to turn around the viewport and look at your character from all different angles and see if there's one angle where it looks a little bit strange or off, and then fix that in the same run. You can even have the hair displayed while working on it. Depends on how much your workstation can handle at this stage. And here I will drop in another hair clump node in combination with a masked. It's like basically the same what we did previously, but another time. Next thing I want to work on is the transition from the eyes all the way to the cheeks. And I want a look where it's less clumped closer to the eyes and more clumped on the jawline. And for that, I first try to quick fix it with a clamp function. I always try to recycle old attributes that I have. And here I'm trying to recycle the active area once more. And first off, I will try that. And if that doesn't work, I will just add another attribute. So for me, it was above 1. But yeah, I will just try to use that in order to just clump the hairs near the jawline, where it's longer in general. And I will compare multiple results and go back and forth from there and try to hide notes to see if I'm actually making it look better or worse at this stage. You can also see that a lot of hair near the eyes is colliding with the skin. So in order to fix that, we will drop a guide collide with 3dB that we also used earlier on. You can use that basically at any stage on your hair, regardless if it's the guides or the hair itself. Or even in simulation setups, you can use that whenever your hair is colliding with your character. It's a great way to quick fix that. You can see that the transition looks smoother now between the eyes and the cheeks. I'm not happy with the bump that we're getting on the left side or screen right side of the cat, so I'm trying to set up different seats and relax iterations to see if they have any influence of the bump that we see there. So basically I will try to discover where it comes from.